There's no way around it. We live in the age of the tech bros, or as some call them, the tech oligarchs, or even the techno-fascists. I like to call them by their common street name, the assholes. We all know who they are. Peter Thiel, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, just to name a few of the more public characters. They're guys who made names for themselves in technology, and they're smart, immorally rich, arrogant, and their insidious influence can be felt throughout culture, finance, politics, and science. One of the bros you may not be familiar with is a guy named Brian Johnson, who invested $100 million of his own money to found a company named Kernel, which develops neurotechnology. The company has introduced software that can read your brain and know what song you're listening to. Unofficially, this is known as Who Gives a Fuck technology.
Yes!
Anyway, Brian Johnson, also known as BJ, has another passion, life extension. He and others like him believe that lifespans can be dramatically increased beyond the current biological limit through certain technologies and practices. I don't think Brian has really thought through this life extension fantasy. He's seeing the benefits of staying forever young, but I don't think he's considered the downside. For example, let's say that twice a year you get diarrhea.
Ew!
That's a fairly conservative estimate, right? Well, if you live an extra 400 years, you'd have diarrhea 800 more times in your lifetime. Ouch! Yeah, that's something to think about. Or here's another one, colonoscopies. It's recommended to get one about every 10 years. So 400 extra years of life means 40 more times you'll have a camera rammed up your ass. Oh! Let's talk about something a little more benign but also irritating, going to the DMV. Even if you only go to the DMV every 10 years, that's 40 more times if you live an extra 400 years that you'll have to pull a ticket and wait in line at the DMV. There are plenty of these kinds of events in life that we tend to try to not think about too much because they're uncomfortable or annoying. Sitting in traffic, using a porta potty, vomiting, making small talk, doing dishes, and on and on. By the time we get to old age, almost everything that was once acceptable and tolerable to us becomes difficult and annoying. Getting out of bed, reaching your ass to wipe it, bending over to put on your shoes, mowing the lawn, taking out the trash, etc. Fortunately, we let people retire after 67 and collect Social Security. So that removes one of the most time-consuming annoyances, going to a shitty job to make money. That's proof that going to work sucks, because even the government acknowledges it and pays you so that you don't have to go to work anymore. The government feels bad for you because you're old and have to work. Either that, or the government thinks that you suck at your job after a certain age and tries to bribe you not to do it. Yes, I realize Social Security is just your own money being paid back to you, but it's kind of amazing that the government agrees to give it back to you, for now, when it could be adding to the tiny $887 billion defense budget instead.
What the hell?
So that's the natural order of things for Homo sapiens, and has been for about the last 70,000 years. Life is hard. It gets harder as you get older. Finally, it gets so hard that you want to die. Can you imagine the privilege of these tech bros who want to live forever? They have so much money and so much privilege that they can minimize all the unpleasantness of life, and still they want life to be even easier and for it to go on forever.
Seriously?
That tells you how delusional and arrogant they really are. These fucking idiots think they don't have to get old and die just like the rest of us. Then, last week, Elon Musk tweets out that we should cancel our Netflix subscriptions, which makes life tolerable for millions of people. And we should cancel because the streaming service is running some shows with transgender themes. Jesus Christ, what a buffoon this guy is. I don't wish him dead. That would be too simple. Instead, how about 400 years worth of diarrhea? Works for me. Thanks for listening. Please drop me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.